Hello! Since in January, we are going to spend the entire month with Mother Pat, I figured that we would do a small series of videos using every single one of the Mothership palettes separately, just so that I can show you some ideas on how I have found these palettes to be very user-friendly and very intuitive over the course of the years. So the other reason why I also wanted to do a video with Mothership 1 is because one of the things that I noticed in a lot of 2024 recaps were people talking about how 2024 was the year when they finally got into cool tones. And then I was like, hold on, seriously? I mean, I understand that in the late 2010s, there were a lot of warm tone palettes. I understand that it was like the heyday of ABH and palettes like Soft Glam, which was very warm toned. Natasha Denona, Bronze and Sunrise and Sunset and all of the things, which, again, warm tones were very much on vogue in that time, and I get it, but it's not like there weren't cool tone options back then, because then, I picked up the palette that we're going to be focusing on today, Mothership 1 Subliminal, and I used it for my New Year's Eve makeup, and I was like, hold on. I'm pretty sure this palette was launched in 2018. It was. And this is like as cool tone as you can go, right? So it just made me think like, you know what? Makeup trends are like so relative, and I don't know, you just have to take them with a grain of salt, because you can literally get into anything whenever you want. Just do the makeup that you're happy with. But I really enjoyed playing with Mothership 1 on New Year's Eve. So I figured that we could do a couple of looks today. So here is what I'm going to try to do. What I'm going to try to do is do 2 looks with the matte and satin shades over here. And then I'm going to show you those 2 looks, and then we're going to try to give them a little bit of a twist with a couple of the special shades on this corner of the palette. If you have not been here before and you are wondering who this person is that is talking about a palette that was released almost 7 years ago, hi, I'm Jo, and I like to have fun with makeup. Let's get into applying these beautiful shades on my eyes. But first, make sure that you subscribe so that if you don't want to miss the rest of the Pat McGrath series or the Mothership series as they come up, make sure that you don't miss that, because these palettes are glorious. So they can be glorious even in the hands of a simpleton like me. I promise. But make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss that or any of the other insanity that we do over here. Let's get going with the application of the Mothership 1 Subliminal. I'm gonna use one eye for one look and another eye for another look. We'll see if I go to the ophthalmologist like that. So for the first look, I'm actually gonna use this shade over here, and then I'm gonna use the other pale gray in my other eye. I'm just using a crease brush from Sephora Collection. I'm not using eyeshadow primer today, honestly, because I forgot it in the bathroom, and the maintenance crew is doing repairs in my apartment, and I don't want to disturb them. But I also figured that it would be a good idea to actually show you how these eyeshadows look without eyeshadow primer. Also, when you see swatches, and I will be uploading swatches of all the Motherships that I haven't uploaded. When you see swatches on my channel, those are with my fingers, no eyeshadow primer, no concealer, nothing at all. This on me is very much a lid setting shade, but given that my eyelids have a lot of blue and purple and stuff, it's not a bad idea to just set with a shade like this. And it already makes the eyelid very uniformly cool. And so for that one, I'm gonna be using this shade over here, this satin shade that is kind of a taupe. Pat McGrath shades are very much designed to be applied with the fingers, so that's what I'm gonna do. And these feel kind of powdery on the finger, but not in a bad way, not in a dusty way. They just feel very, very finely milled is the expression that I'm trying to use. Okay, sorry, I was looking at the palette and trying to decide where I'm gonna take this next, because typically I don't do my satin shade first. I definitely messed up the order there. But then I'm gonna actually take this gray shade that will be the lid setting shade on the other look, and I'm gonna use it for deepening the crease. So just a little bit over here. Just like that. I actually think that I need a more precise brush for that outer corner, so I'm gonna switch to the Units 202. Yeah. Just needed a little bit of precision here. There we go. And then kind of take it out so that I can elongate the corner of my eye a little bit more, and then go back to my crease brush so that I can blend a little bit better. And then I'm gonna go back to the gray shade and line. Use a concealer brush to kind of clean up a little bit here. If you wanted to do brow bone or inner corner highlight, you can use this shade over here, which Pat McGrath puts in like every eyeshadow palette, at least every Mothership. I'm gonna do a little bit of light over here, just a little. Probably shouldn't have taken that so far inside, but Take that shade to the inner corner. That shade is like a pearl color. And I think that she puts it there so that every Mothership has a universal inner corner highlight. She'll do some form of a shade like that. I'm happy with that. Let's put some mascara on so that we can give a little bit of shape to the eye. I'm gonna use the Benefit Roller Lash today. Since this is a fairly simple and slightly deconstructed look, it makes sense to kind of go with a rather wispy lash, in my opinion. Look number one. So this is something that I would do like if I'm gonna wear a Mothership for a normal occasion, like to work. These are some of the shades that I would use. Again, to recap, I use this shade to set my lid, this shade for a little bit of depth in the crease, and then I use this one as my inner corner highlight, and this satin shade all over my lid, but like not to the outer corner. And there's look number one. Look at that cool tone dream. I think that's very pretty. Let's move on to look number two, which is gonna be slightly darker. So for look number two, we're gonna use the gray as the lid setting shade. So we're gonna start darker from the very beginning. I mean, obviously, these are very modulable eyeshadows, so you don't have to pack it in too much if you don't want to. For darker shades like these ones, maybe an eyeshadow primer is a better idea, but I'm a dum-dum and I didn't bring one over to my filming space. But I also think that it's not a bad idea to show you how an eyeshadow like this applies without the extra scaffolding of an eyeshadow primer. If you wanted something really, really simple, I think that you could leave the look just like that and apply mascara and you're good. If you wanted a little bit more structure, you could line the lower lash line with probably the same shade or even the matte black that is in this palette, which is what I'm gonna do because I'm gonna use the matte black for depth. But that's pretty much it. Like, I think that's a nice eye look and it's just one eyeshadow. But that's the thing about Pat McGrath eyeshadows is that, you know, you can really take them as simple or as complicated as you want to. I'm gonna use the matte black for lining the lower lash line. Pat's matte blacks are really good. I don't know that I have a favorite matte black eyeshadow. I don't know that my use of eyeshadow goes that intense. I don't know that I have, you know, paid attention to that. If you have a favorite matte black eyeshadow, let me know. I know that for a while, a lot of people regarded Natasha Denona's Black is Black as like a top matte black eyeshadow, and it used to be sold as a single shadow. Then it was like out of stock for ages, and then she put it as a shade in the My Dream palette, and that made a lot of people quite happy. I have the My Dream palette and I have Black is Black in it, and it is a really, really good shade. I agree. The Pat McGrath ones are not to be ignored or looked down, in my opinion. I think that they are very easy to work with. I think that there are a couple of the motherships that have matte blacks in them. I want to say 1 and 3 have a matte black, and I think maybe 10 has a matte black. I'm not sure. I will say though, the matte black is probably one of the least used shadows in my motherships. I don't particularly go there all the time, but as you can see, it is a very easy smoky when you use that matte black. That's pretty. See, this is a lot softer, and because you're using black here, this is a little bit more intense, but I personally think that is not too crazy. You can make it too crazy if you want to, but you don't have to. I feel like as I'm approaching 40, my eyes are starting to show like signs of, yo, you're approaching 40. And so from time to time, I do have to go back in and kind of reapply in certain spots because there's like a little fold of skin that didn't get eyeshadow. And it's like, okay, so that's what aging looks like. Okay, I can figure this out over time. So far, we have this shade all over the lid, and then we use the matte black in the crease, outer corner, and lower lash line. Then we are going to use this kind of lilac satin shade. Has a lot of blue in it, but we're gonna use that all over the lid. This is pretty close to my New Year's look, actually. I posted it, I think, on Instagram stories or something. But it's pretty close to what I did. Like a smoky, but not a super intense smoky. But see, I feel like this is like an easy date night look. Okay, so you can see that this one a little bit softer because we use like a more taupey shade, and then this one has a little bit more color because we used a lilac shade. Let's apply mascara on that one so that we can do the 2 more basic looks, wrap them up, and then we're gonna play a little with the special shades. This is look number 1. And this is look number 2. Let's play with the special shades. I will swatch all 4 of them so that you guys can see them, because this is like the thing that makes Pat McGrath Motherships as special as they have been for the last 7 years or so, since this one is the first one and it was released in 2018. I do wish that she would release another palette with cool tones, since she had so many with pinks. We'll see if she will release another Mothership. There was no Mothership in 2024, and I think it was the first year since the palettes were launched that there was no Mothership. Here are the special shades. So we have a cobalt blue of sorts, a gold, and then we have a blue and purple duochrome. This is what they look like in the pan. And here are the special shade swatches. There are swatches of the entire Mothership 1 palette on my swatch shorts playlist here on YouTube. But those are the special shades. Do you see that shine? Look at that sparkle. I mean, I'm sorry, that's magical. So here's what we're going to do. On this eye, we are going to elevate a little bit by trying to create a somewhat graphic liner with the blue. I'm gonna take the blue and use it as an eyeliner over here. First off, wish me luck. Definitely shouldn't have done mascara before this, but live and learn, right? For better results, I would suggest using a setting spray or something like Fix Plus so that you can really get better color payoff. I'm going really thick so that you can see the color. And then this is the scary part. We're gonna do like a little bit of a graphic thing here. I've never done this, but I'm doing it. Hopefully it doesn't look terrible. Okay, it's not bad so far. And let's take it out here. Take it out here. Not bad for my first try. I mean, it looks a little too chunky, but not bad for my first try. Let's elongate this line a little bit. There we go. It looks a little bit less awkward. Oh, that's better. Okay. Okay. Can we elongate a little bit more here? Like this. Okay. I mean, obviously, like I need to practice my tracing, but I'm not mad at that. Okay. I'm quite surprised myself. I promise you, I've never done this in my life. I mean, I'm sure that by looking at it, you're probably, yeah, you've clearly never done this in your entire life. But that's what we do here, we play. I wasn't really sure that that shade was gonna work for something like a graphic liner, but it does. I think it does. And then we are going to take this duochrome shade and use it all over the lid on that side, which is, again, this was my New Year's look. Haha. Right there. Let me just go back to my crease brush and blend a little bit here. The black base definitely, or the darker base definitely brings out more of the blue. So you could have left it with just the lilac shade, or you can add a special shade and then switch it to this very cool blue. So look number 3, using a special shade kind of all over the lid. And then look number 4, using a special shade as a graphic eyeliner. Of course, there's a lot more that you can do with this. Let's use actually this more yellow shade as an inner corner highlight on this side. Don't worry, I will not go to the ophthalmologist looking like this. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's a little much. Obviously, that's like a clearly more intense inner corner highlight than a lot of people would use, but there it is. So this is just a tiny example of some of the things that you can do with Mothership 1 Subliminal. So if you like cool tones, you are definitely gonna have a lot of fun here. These 4 over here, see? That's like a cool tone quad right there. And I think that that's the way that Pat McGrath designed the Motherships. She will give you basic shadows that you can do a lot with that are more universal. In this case, a matte black and a pearly inner corner highlight and brow bone shade. Then you're gonna have a quad with 2 matte shades and 2 satin shades that you can play around with. That composition in terms of formulation changes by Mothership. And then you have the 4 special shades so that you can really have a lot of fun and play around and choose your own adventure with makeup. I hope that you found this helpful. I mean, I know that some of the specific things that I'm doing are not perfect, and that's okay. This whole channel is just to play with makeup and show it to other people. So, I mean, please be kind in the comments, and if you're gonna make me cry, just make me cry in a way that doesn't completely crush my spirit, okay? But that's gonna be it. So we did 2 looks that are a little bit more normal and 2 looks that are a little bit more intense with the special shades, which again, this is where the Motherships shine. You get your everyday stuff, you get your having fun stuff. So hopefully this was fun for you. Let me know if you have this palette. If you have Mothership 1, do you have only this one? Do you have other Motherships? I'm insane and I have 6, but I understand that that's not everybody. If this is your favorite Mothership, definitely let me know in the comments. The more I use it, the more I enjoy it. As someone that has predominantly cool tones in her undertones, etc., it plays around very well for me. It's very well suited for my skin undertones, etc. And of course, there's blue. Blue is one of my best colors, especially with dark brown eyes. So it really does favor me, but I understand that it might not favor everybody. I do think that, you know, looking back, it is a really bold choice for like a first signature palette, but that's Pat McGrath for you, and that's why we love her. Let me know which of these looks you thought was better executed. Is there anything else that you would like to see with Mothership 1? And stay tuned for the rest of the dedicated videos that I'm gonna be doing with the Mothership palettes that I own. So I hope that you had fun with that. I had a lot of fun doing this, actually. Not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun doing this, which is the whole point. Isn't that the whole point? Is just to have fun, is to play and to feel good about makeup and, you know, share it with others. It's creative, it's playtime. This is my playtime for today. Tell me in the comments again, which of the Mothership videos you are most excited to see. And I hope that you enjoyed this one. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up so YouTube can show it to other people that might find it helpful or fun. And before you go, make sure that you subscribe so that you can keep up with the rest of the Mothership series or anything else that we do here in the channel, which is mostly me being ridiculous. Thank you once again for joining me in my adventures with makeup, and I hope that you have a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye-bye.